Namaste. I wanted to share with you a little bit of information of one of my favorite festivals that's coming up called Navaratri. Navaratri is celebrated all over the world, but comes from India. And it means Nava means 9. Ratri means nights. So Navaratri means the 9 nights that are celebrated in honor of the goddess, in honor of the divine feminine. The divine feminine is in all of us, in male and females. And so it is a way to cultivate and embody and awaken all these main 3 qualities of the goddess. And so it usually starts on the evening of the new moon, and the next 9 days afterwards. And the first 3 days are devoted to Durga. And Durga is the goddess that rides on a tiger, and she's very fierce. We have this this one mudra that we do where she's she holds weapons of consciousness, I think 10 arms with swords, and she is very fierce. And what those weapons of consciousness that she embodies are all about is destroying any negativities, any bad habits, any external or internal areas of our lives that we want to destroy, get rid of, finish, release, let go of, bury. And so the first 3 days, you're kind of in this deep state of going inwards and meditating on and just going inside your own heart about what needs to be released. And each day it seems to take you deeper and deeper into what you're wanting to release and purifying and letting it go. It's awesome. And then the second 3 days are dedicated to the goddess Lakshmi, which is known as the goddess of abundance, the goddess of spiritual wealth, the goddess of prosperity in all of its forms. And so after being in that process of the 3 days of clearing away all negativities, you have these 3 days to invoke and meditate on and absorb and awaken all these qualities of abundance and prosperity and beauty and love and wealth and spiritual wealth as well as material wealth, all forms of abundance. And so you really feel like after these 3 days, each day again, it just builds and builds and builds. You just feel this like, ooh, this effulgence of wealth and spiritual healing. It's fabulous. And then the last 3 days are devoted to the goddess Saraswati, which is the goddess of yoga. She's known as the goddess of yoga, the goddess of flow, the goddess of water. Anytime, anywhere you see a river or water, lakes, ocean, whatever, that's where Saraswati is remembered. The goddess of flow, the goddess of intelligence, of wisdom, of all of the creative arts, of higher learning, of dance. And so, and she's also the goddess of healing the chakras. These are all the chakras on my shirt. And balancing and awakening the chakras. And so she is really the goddess where we integrate Durga, Saraswati, and Lakshmi and feel this sense of balance and wholeness and healing. And so she's sort of the refined culmination of all of the goddesses. And so by the time you get to that 3rd day of Saraswati, you've been in 9 days of meditation and practice, which we call sadhana, sacred practice. And so it's really very, very healing, very fulfilling. And for the fact that we're also in a intense cycle of retrogrades with Mars and Mercury, and so much going on in the world that's so intense. There's so much upheaval and chaos and, sadness. To be in a sadhana or sacred practice of this healing, it's a very, very empowering thing to do. So I wanted to share with you the 3 mantras associated with each goddess. And usually you would do the mantras with a mala, or you could also chant up the chakras. Could be that simple, where you just do one mantra for kind of blessing each chakra. You can also use your hand, where each crease of your finger is a mala bead. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you would do that 9 times. And that would be 108, just as many as are on a mala. And so this is one of the most beautiful ways that you can invoke the goddess. And so the first 3 days would be Durga, and I'll leave it below so you can also see it written out. But the mantra is Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. So Om is the word for infinite consciousness, right? It's a very healing word. Dum is the seed sound of Durga, and so it empowers and gives more power to the whole mantra. And then Durgaye is Durga. So Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. So you would chant that 108 times, or more, or less, as you like. You also might have a bracelet mala, right? These are little malas that I love to make. And you could also just chant them on your bracelet mala. So that's the first 3 days. And then the next 3 days is Lakshmi. And Lakshmi is Om, Shreem. Again, Om is that potent sound of infinite, of the one, right? Shreem is this seed sound that means abundance. And Shreem, 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 Shreem. And so again, it empowers the mantra. Maha means great, like Maha, great, the Maha, like a Mahatma. Lakshmiye is goddess. Swaha, Swaha is like, and so it is. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Here's a little picture of Lakshmi I added to this rose quartz bracelet mala I made. That's Lakshmi. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. And so as you're chanting each one, you're invoking and you're drawing in that vibration of abundance, of love, of spiritual wealth, of healing, right, inside of you. And then the last 3 days would be Saraswati, which is Om Aim Saraswatiye Namaha. Om. And then Aim is a seed sound for Saraswati, A-I-M, Aim. And then Saraswatiye is the goddess. Namaha. Namaha. I bow to the goddess Saraswati. Right? And so I just wanted to encourage you, if you want to be a part of this festival that's going on all over the world, celebrated by millions of people, chanting these mantras, you will connect with not only the vibration of yourself chanting it, but the vibration of all those millions of people chanting it all over the world. And so it's really a powerful portal and gateway and opportunity to connect with the holy, with the divine feminine that lives inside you. And so whatever state you're in right now, we use these practices of yoga and pranayama and meditation to redirect us back into the holy, into the sacred, into our highest expression. And we use these practices to do so. So my suggestion to you would be to do it first thing in the morning. And I have other videos talking about practice, how to start your practice. I have my online course called The Power of Practice that lays it all out for you with a little bit of pranayama, with a little bit of yoga, your dinacharya, your morning, your daily practices that you do. So however you decide to do that, what I suggest is before coffee, before you get involved with the rest of the day, just wake up as early as you possibly can and do something to maybe a little simple pranayama, a little breath technique. Sit down. If you want to roll around and do a little bit of yoga or dance or movement, do a little bit of that. And then you just take your mala or your bracelet, or you just sit with your chakras and you chant the mantra, Om Dum Durgaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Aim Saraswati Namaha. And so I hope you enjoy learning a little bit about Navaratri, and I send you all my love and blessings, and I'll finish with a favorite tune of mine, of Saraswati's. It's just another beautiful tune of her mantra. Om Namo Gurave Shri Saraswati Rupaya. Om Namo Gurave Shri Saraswati Rupaya. Om Namo Gurave Shri Saraswati Rupaya. Happy Navaratri, my friends. Namaste. Namaste.